Please be advised that Little Miss Recap contains adult language. Hi everyone, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we only accept positive people here. Only positivity.
I mean, that's what we ask for, Aim.
That's what I asked for. I'm not getting what I asked for.
Nope.
And Brennan mad.
Meh.
I hate this D-bag. I just
hate
really
him
do.
too.
I realize that he's a real person. He is out there in the world. But I have to say, the inauthenticity of these people, of all of these men, drive me fucking bananas.
This show is particularly bad.
I feel like it's Love is Blind as well. Like, nobody is real.
Not anymore, they're not. I'm over Love is Blind too. Like, after all the bullshit that came out this week about all of these people, like, I don't even want to keep watching it. Like, fuck it. It's stupid.
And it's from the same production company, and
yeah, like, do better.
There's obviously a problem.
Yeah, obviously big problem.
Yeah. All right,
Yep.
So we're talking Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 19, Sex, Lies, and Questionable Behavior.
Sex and lies.
I will tease a little bit that you and I have a big crossover coming up. I don't want to give too much away because I don't like to promote it until it's in the can. But we're supposed to record tonight, so look for that early next week. I think we're gonna drop it on Monday.
Okay.
So guys, stay tuned right here.
Okay.
Okay.
It's all happening.
So who do we want to start with?
Ugh.
You know what? Let's go ahead.
I was just gonna say, let's just appreciate the fact that we didn't have to fucking see Orion this week.
That's true. I expect him, like the Wheel of Fortune head that I always talk about, to just pop up and have something to say in everybody else's scene.
Yes. I was just so glad we didn't have to fucking deal with him this week.
Let's do Chloe and Michael.
Okay.
And get them over with, because not much happens.
No.
And I hate to say this, but at this point in the show, I'm just bored with them. Michael's getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter.
I'm so fucking into Michael.
And he shows up wearing a 1977 t-shirt
or
sweatshirt, which is the year I was born. And I need to know if we're the same age. We probably are.
No way. Dude, way.
Oh. Well, why would he be wearing that sweatshirt?
I don't know. Maybe something.
Is he trying to signal to me?
Well, obviously. He's signal.
That's
it. That's a smoke. No, that's a smoke signal.
Because I want to say he was in his 40s. Hold on. I'm pulling it up because I have it. I have it in my notes. Hold on.
I think we're way older than him.
Okay. Married at First Sight. Let's do season 3.
What is he, like,
episode
39 maybe?
Okay. No, he was 38 when this was filmed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. We're way older than him.
Unfortunately.
Hottie McMichael, if you're listening,
he's sending me
apologize.
He's sending me a signal.
He is.
So these two crazy kids are getting along and they're kind of getting intimate. Dr. Pia stops by to visit. She's like, I did your home visits, and Chloe, you were horny. Like, all we get is how horny Chloe was. Let me get my porn music. Hold on. Let me do this right.
Yeah.
When I did your home visit, Chloe, you had those vibrators at the red day. I mean, you just had them under your pillow in case you needed to grab them after you were dreaming of Michael.
Well, I just keep them under my pillow in case I need to rub one off.
Fast access, quick access, easy access. I forget what she says.
Under your pillow, though, really? All right, backdoor friends. Please.
I will tell you that my vibrators are not under my pillow. And I can still access them when I need them.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I
Mhm.
was just like, "That's a little weird." If I had
Mhm.
something like that under my pillow, Shirley MacLaine would be, like, chewing on it, like, "There's no way."
Yeah. I don't
With
like
all those
things under my
dogs?
pillow.
No,
Mm-mm.
unless it's, like, dollars from the tooth fairy.
Like, so Michael says something that I thought was really profound, and this makes me love him even more.
Oh, I love
He
him.
says, if you're going to be truly vulnerable, you are empowering that person to be able to hurt you the most and trusting that they won't.
Yeah, he's right.
And I just wrote, why is
Mm.
he single? Why is he
I
single?
know, I know, I know.
I don't get this.
And
Is he going to turn out to break our hearts?
I don't think he is.
I don't either.
I really don't. I
I
think
think he
she's
is.
gonna go split skis because I don't know why. And I've done a lot of thinking about these 2.
Yeah.
And, we've had conversations about the skirt and the pearls, and I feel like the more I watch him, I even know, like, Castor Pal was going on about how feminine he is and, getting into his feminine side like in previous weeks. I'm not seeing that at all. The more I watch him, I feel like they kind of, like, set us up to believe that he was some weird, and not even that it's weird, that's just
Hmm.
my horrible language, but that he was some, like, ultra femme dude, and this was, like, gonna be super weird for the show, and I even kinda bought it a little bit in the beginning, but
Hmm.
the more I watch and get to know this dude, I don't see that in at all. I see that he's eccentric a little bit.
I have said from the
I
beginning,
know
I
you
think the
have.
skirt and the pearls are hot because I love a guy who's in touch with his feminine side.
Yeah,
Love
I
it.
mean, I'm still not attracted to the dude in pearls, but that's
Hmm.
whatever, neither here nor there. I don't even know that I love the skirt, but I don't know. He's not what I initially thought he was.
He is
And
more
I'm
masculine than any of these
uh
motherfuckers on
oh
this
my
show.
god, a million times
Hmm.
more. Oh, and he's just the best.
Like if it depends on what your definition of masculinity is, right? Like if it's I just hate that whole concept of like being a man. But whatever. If we look at masculinity through the lens of strength, which I would argue femininity is more strength than masculine, but whatever. This dude has more emotional and intellectual strength than those other 3 idiots combined.
Combined, yeah. I know.
So Dr. Pia gives them an assignment. She says they have to go to a sex shop and they have to buy 3 things each.
Mhm.
Okay. They get to the sex shop and Chloe's like, "Where are the vibrators?
I
I need
know.
one right now." Like she
What?
is all horned up for this guy.
I know.
And I don't blame her.
I don't blame her either. I
Mm-mm.
just hope it's
Same,
not.
same, same,
Yeah,
same.
right? Like, I just hope she doesn't hurt him.
Me
That's
too.
what I'm afraid of. Protect him.
Michael says he has some spiciness. He's at like a
Mm.
6.5, but he's willing to explore and do whatever
Mhm.
needs to be done. Backdoor friends, I am telling you right now, there is this, how people say like, I don't know for sure, but I know I know.
Mhm.
This man has a humongous dick. I'm telling you right now, and he
Ugh.
knows how to use it.
I mean, I'm
Telling you
sure
right
he
now.
knows what to do with it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm
He has
sure.
the build. You know the build I'm
I
talking
know the
about.
build. I
He
know the
has the
build.
build. That dick is big and he knows what to do with it.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
just
not
saying.
disagreeing that he knows what to do with it. I wish I
She is
knew
she is not gonna
firsthand.
be she is not gonna be let down. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
there's no disappointment here.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So later they go home and they're cuddling in bed and there's some moaning happening and the cameras go away. And that's where we leave them. They're banging.
Whoa.
She said on after party they're banging.
How about that scene from Prison Cam on the couch where they, like, had to blur out her, like, slipping her hand down there?
I know.
It's like,
I know.
"Whoa,
It's
married at
wild.
first sight."
We had a lot of prison cam this episode.
We did. Maybe they've been,
Mhm.
like, finally fucking listening and paying
Yeah, maybe.
attention. The
Maybe.
hell? Where was Prison Cam the first 75 episodes of this season? It's crazy.
So let's scoot over to Becca and Austin.
Oh,
Can you do
these
a
2.
Becca and Clam's voice for me?
Becca?
Oh, I said Clam's voice. Cam's
Can't,
voice.
well, I know what you meant.
Becca.
Becca?
So we're 5 days
Becca?
to decision.
5 days to decision day.
They're heading to a paint your own pottery place. Have you ever done this?
No, but I would love to because I'm obsessed with pottery and I wish I knew how to do it. I've
Me
always
too,
wanted
and
to do it.
they're doing the throwing, and they're doing
Yeah.
quite like, they're impressive.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed too.
I
You know?
imagined it just like do you remember okay, we all know the scene from Ghost, okay?
I mean,
But do you remember in The Naked Gun when they did the
of
spoof of
course.
the thing
Of
from Ghost?
course.
And
Yes.
and they're making out and the clay is squirting all
Squirting
over
all
them?
over. Yeah.
That would
That'd
be
be
me doing
me.
the clay. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
You know who I love that does this? Sidebar. My favorite podcast in the whole world besides this one, Busy Phillips is doing her best.
Mhm.
She takes pottery. Well, does pottery, took classes, whatever, but she does pottery in New York and she makes these little clay pigs and then she auctions them
Oh,
off and
cute.
donates the money to like charities. And I just think it's the coolest thing because
Mhm.
I always send all of my money to these raffles and I've never won, but I just think it's fucking great. I would
You
love to
know
be able to do it.
my sister's a potter,
Hmm. I know.
and I have a lot of her pottery, and I really loved when she was because I was
Uh,
getting, like, all this free pottery,
that's awesome. Come on,
and
Jenny,
she
send
stopped
some
doing it.
my way.
Mhm.
She doesn't do it at all?
Mm-mm. I
Really?
think she's full on just painting now.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of Patrick's really good friends does pottery as well, and he's really, really talented. We have a couple things of
I
his
wish I
here.
could do it.
Me
I
too. It's
can't
so
though. I
cool.
just So Becca says, "Here's the deal." Now they're doing their pottery. So this is the
Hmm.
antithesis to the ghost scene when people are fucking while they're doing pottery.
Right.
This is we're going to have a tense conversation and argument while doing pottery. So Becca tells him, "When we're off camera, I feel like you don't even like me." And he's like, "I like you. I like you." And she says, "There's a difference in your camera or your behavior off and on camera." Again with these guys. He
Yep.
says he's sorry that she doesn't feel that he likes her, but he does. And he says, "We need to listen to Pastor Cal and trust in the small intentions in our day."
Mm.
And
No, shut
Becca
up,
says,
Austin.
"Okay." She said, "I do think we're doing that. Like today when I asked you about the washer door being open and how mildew can form, which I'm a big freak about this
Yeah,
too.
me too. Me too.
You just said, okay, when normally that would not go over well. You would get combative." And he's like, "Are my disagreements combative?" She says, "Yes, definitely."
Hmm.
And she said, "You always need a reason for things." So this is what I imagine happens. She says something to him like, "Can you not throw your wet towel on the rug?" And
And
he's
then
like,
he's,
"Why?" And he argues back with
yeah,
her like a kid and a mom situation.
because he's annoying.
Because
He's
he's
truly
a kid.
like a college kid that's just like
Yeah.
hanging
I
out,
like
getting stoned, and
I
playing video
like him.
games.
I do like him.
I don't know how I feel anymore.
I like
I
him. I
don't
think
know
at
that
heart he is a good person.
I do too, but maybe I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on him anymore. I'm
Well,
really
and
struggling.
I'm only saying that because I trust Becca, and Becca at the end really talks about what a good person he
I
is.
know she does.
Like, she
I
has
know.
issues with him. I'm not saying he's a good husband,
Right.
but I think he's a good person. And I
Yeah,
think that, I trust her in that. Maybe I'll be proven
maybe.
wrong next
I
week.
don't
Let's
know.
see.
We're always wrong with these
Mhm,
dudes, so it doesn't
mhm.
even matter at this point.
So Becca's like, she goes, "Again, you're combative. You always need a reason. I don't have the energy for that sometimes." He says, "Well, you've told me, first of all, I can't stand the therapy speak that these two do to each other.
It's real
I
annoying.
just want to jump out a
Just
window
I know, like, just talk to each other like regular people.
and just cut to the chase. We don't
Yeah,
need all this
the
expletive
filler. Mhm,
construct to
mhm.
set up these sentences." So he's like, "You've told me in the past that boyfriends have been pushovers, and I feel sometimes like you don't want me to think for myself." She
Hmm.
says, "No." She had a great answer. She goes, "Actually, no. You think of yourself 100% of the time.
I know she
What I'm
did.
asking you to do is think about us some percent of the time." I was like,
Uh-huh. I know, that was freaking great. She nailed that one.
she's so emotionally intelligent and
I
able to
know.
express her ideas. Oh my God.
I love her.
So she's really upset about the comment about her exes. She's like, I don't know what to do with that. And then she says to him, like, if this is too much for you, like if me saying this is too much, I don't know what to do with that. She kept saying that.
Yeah.
Now, at one point, she's cold and she goes over to grab her coat, but she grabs his because it has a fleece lining to it. And
Amy,
what happens?
I don't think you understand how triggered I was by this. I
This was
wanted
bad.
to fucking punch him in the spleen.
So he's like, oh, so just get my coat dirty.
Yeah. Wait, and then he's like, when he says
And
it.
yeah, and she's like, "Oh, well, what?" Like, and she grabs her, and then he's like, "Can't you wash your hands first before you touch my coat?"
I can't. Oh my
Okay,
god. And it's
all
not
right.
even, I mean, we saw her cuz I went back and watched this twice.
Mhm.
Her hands weren't sopping wet and filthy and
No,
disgusting.
of
They had
course they
like
weren't.
dried clay on them. Like,
Mhm.
shut up, dude. You look like dirty fucking laundry 99% of the time. Are you fucking kidding
And
me?
I'm sure Becca would wash your jean jacket for you
Oh
if
my
she got
god.
a clay on it at your apartment.
Seriously. This was so fucking rude.
So
I hated him in this moment.
later we get prison cam. And
Mm,
he's basically confronting her saying, "You make
yeah.
me look bad on camera." Now, I watched this like 10 times.
I mean, I know I did too.
'Cause I wanted to study his behavior. Is he being aggressive? And he really wasn't. He was not being
No,
aggressive.
not
Like,
in this.
he actually moved to the couch to comfort her. He
Yeah.
was, you know what I mean? Like, I think he's really struggling with, how do I say this?
Hmm.
I think when it comes to Brennan, there is a sinisterness behind him wanting to control his image on camera. I
Sure.
think with Austin, it's more like, I don't mind us having these conversations on camera, but you're really, like, saying some things that are harsh, and I don't want people thinking that of me.
Mm.
Because he
I
says at one
know.
point,
Yeah,
she's
he
like,
does.
"Are you more concerned about me feeling this way about you or camera?" And he says, "I care about both."
I know. I
So,
know.
like, I do I
And
think
I do.
Austin is a good husband? No. And I think
No.
he's performative to some extent, but I don't think he's a monster like Brennan.
No. Oh, I don't either. I don't either. No,
Yeah.
there's a blatant no. They're
Mhm.
not even on the same side of the street, these two.
Mm-mm.
But I do get her point. I
I do
mean,
too. I do
I
too.
get her point.
Yes.
And I think it just stems from he's just not that into her. And I think the little things that she does that irritate him, he's not good at hiding because
Mhm.
he's just not that into her. That's kind of what I see, right? Or
Well,
no?
and I go back to when Emily read him for filth on After Party, and it was about him setting up a romantic night for them. And remember, Emily was
Mhm.
like, "Did you do that, or did the producers tell you to do that?"
I forgot
And
about that.
yeah, and Becca has brought this up too. Like, you apologize to me at the prompting of a producer. Like, she has said this before. Now,
Yes.
that does not mean that, like, Austin is some terrible monster and the producers have to tell him how to
No.
fit. I think Austin is similar to my husband in that he just doesn't have the emotional intelligence to know when to do romantic things. Like, that's not in his nature. So when production guides him, I don't think he's like resentful about it. I think he does it willingly, but he has to be told.
Mm.
Does that make
That's a
sense?
good point. That's a good point.
Like, I have to say to Timmy sometimes, "My birthday's coming up. Can you do something really nice for me?" Because
What?
otherwise he just buys me something I need. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Like a
it's
vacuum?
not right, like, it's not in him. Timmy
Yeah.
expresses his love in different ways. It's not in him to be
Yeah, I get it. I
super
get it.
romantic. So
Sure,
maybe
sure.
there's some of that. I'm not apologizing for the guy. I'm just saying, again, I trust Becca, and if he
Yeah.
was a monster, Becca would tell
Yeah,
us.
I don't think he's a monster. I just
I
think
think she's
he's
frustrated, and I think rightfully so,
yeah,
because she
yeah,
has a man child here.
a big man child.
Mhm.
Which I kind of so remember early on all they talked about, not all they talked about, but they made such a big deal about the two of them like loving video games and all the
Yes.
like ridiculous stuff. We have not seen them
N64, never forget.
N64. But what did you think you were going to get?
I know. I know.
Is kind of where I'm like, I don't know, like
The
Uh,
video game thing it's real touchy for me.
it's
Yeah.
real touchy for me too because I just am not here for it. I
I
mean, don't
understand it.
that's not true.
I'm a gamer. I
I
get
like
it.
right. I'm not a gamer, but throw a Tetris in front of me and you're gonna have to like literally put a bomb under my ass to get me away from it because those kinds of things I can go down a real dark hole into.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's just something about a grown ass dude that just sits around and plays video games all day long that
But
I
see,
just
where
can't
I
get
think
behind.
where Austin endeared himself to me was at the bachelor party when he was super uncomfortable about exploiting the
The
stripper and
sex workers.
he's like,
Yeah.
"No, I don't do that. I don't want, these are people and I don't." And I thought that was a really
I did too,
nice
but
way to think about things. I
now
don't
I
know.
wonder if that was more motivated by his religion
Maybe.
more so
Maybe.
than just a you know what I mean, a respect for sex workers.
And don't get me wrong, overall, I think him not being authentic with Becca, feeling some type of way about her and clearly not voicing that is a shitty thing to do.
Sure.
But I don't know if it's coming from a place of malice or just like immaturity and like I think he does respect Becca and
Oh, I
isn't going to
think he
be like a
does too.
Brennan type situation.
No, I think he does too, and I'll give him that. I don't think he's just like some horrible
But Becca deserves
D-bag, but
better. Becca 100,000% deserves better.
she deserves better big
Mhm.
time.
He's a man child, period. So later we get the prison cam and he's confronting her about making him look bad on camera. She brings up a really good point, like I said. She says, "You're upset with me about how people perceive you, but you're not upset that I actually feel this way about you." And that
Mhm.
tells me it's all about the optics, which is a very good point.
Very good point.
And he says, "I care about both," he says to her.
Mhm,
Then he
mhm.
says, um, "I think it's unfair that you paint me on camera as a terrible person." And she's like, "I always talk so lovely about you on camera." And he says, "You called me combative, and no one in my life has ever called me that. And millions of people are going to see this."
What do you think
And
about that?
I kind of see his point
I kinda
because
do too.
here's my here's my take on it. And this might be a hot take, but when I hear that a man is combative off screen, it
Mhm.
raises the hair on the back of my
Sure.
head.
Same, yeah.
I have no
Well, those
hair
couple
anywhere. So,
hairs.
yeah. 3 of my wisps stand on end when I hear this. I feel like there is an overlay of something not healthy happening off camera, and that's not what she's saying.
Right.
Maybe it's a poor word
It's
choice.
poor
You know what I
yeah, I
mean?
think
She could
that's
say
what it
something
is.
like, "You're kind of a big baby off camera." Would have been
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I think it woulda landed better on him.
Mhm. But
Yeah, I get
combative
it.
tells me like he's ready to put his dukes up with her.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I
like
don't I
that.
yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, 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 I see that. I can get that.
And I
I
think that's
yeah,
what he's reacting to. And he's
sure.
not wrong that,
No.
these things do tend to get away from people. Like if
Yes.
Becca was on camera and said, "I'm scared for my life when I fight with Austin," that's going to follow him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Ugh.
So he says, he cares about both. And she says, "There's so many things that have," and this is where I agree with her now. She says, "So many things have happened off camera that I have stayed quiet about. And now I'm starting to talk about them."
Mhm.
Good. Like she is
Yeah,
totally valid saying, like, on camera, you say you want to bang me. And the minute the camera goes off, you're gone and you have nothing to do with me. And that's a real problem.
that's a
She has
big
every
problem.
right to say that kind of shit. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
And we've all kind of seen it as these 75 weeks have played out, where she's just been kind of placating him the whole time and
Mm-hmm.
giving him space for his slow
Mm-hmm.
intimacy. Like, come on already. We're grown
His slow
adults.
intimacy speed.
Slow intimacy.
So
So
later
annoying.
they meet up with their friends, and Austin is complaining that she used harsh words when describing him on camera. Becca is telling her friend that Austin is so concerned about the camera. She's tired of it and she's finally being honest. And both friends tell them, "You need to be true to yourself." This means Austin goes home, he packs, and he leaves the apartment.
Do you think he comes back?
No.
I don't either.
Nope.
Isn't it wild that like if that's really how they end?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
For like I don't know.
I don't know.
What?
Skip
I don't
skip ahead,
know.
guys. Skip ahead a minute if you don't wanna hear spoiler. But MAFS fan originally said that they break up on decision day. Then she retracted and said, "No, they do say yes on decision day, but they
Right.
only last, like, 2 weeks after decision day." So,
Oh,
I don't know what's gonna happen.
I know, I don't know. I don't
We
know
don't know
either.
we don't know which spoiler's true,
True. Yeah.
and
There's no way to know
I don't know.
unless Becca wants to slide into my DMs. She
She's
can let
she's
me know.
adorable. I love
I
her.
know I love her too. I want to be her
She's
friend.
like I said, she's probably top 5.
Of all time, yes.
Her, Kristen, I loved
Kristen.
Kristen,
Love
hashtag never
Kristen.
forget.
Yep, yep.
Who else do I love? Oh, I loved Iris. Remember Iris? She was great.
Yes.
Gorgeous. I
She
loved
was
her.
great. Is she the
I
one that was
liked
a virgin?
yes.
Yeah, I
I
remember her.
liked
She was
Amelia
great.
and Bennett a lot, but think
Yeah,
that has fizzled
that
out.
fizzled
I
out.
liked Bennett more than Amelia.
I remember you did.
I was into
Remember,
Bennett.
was she a tightrope walker or something?
They both
Remember?
rode
Yeah.
unicycles and did
Okay,
crazy
okay.
shit. I loved
Yeah.
it. I was here for it.
I know.
Here for it.
Ugh.
All right, so let's move to dun dun dun.
Ugh.
Emily and Brennan. Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. Jesus.
Ugh. This guy. This guy.
I have a lot to say here too.
I know it's bad.
So
This
they're
week
at
was
dinner,
not good.
and the waiter brings the food. And Emily says to the waiter, "You have the nicest presentation." They talk about decision day and how they feel better about it since the accident. And she's like, "I didn't know I had to hit a tree to like see some amazing things from you." And
God.
he's like, "Yeah, I really love this friendship." And she's like, "What?"
What? I know. I
And he's
know.
like, "Yeah, friendship. We're in this friendship." So she says, "Okay, I guess I wasn't getting that we were at a friendship."
Because this
And
show is called Married at First Sight, lest we forget.
now I have a lot of he said, she said, but I feel like I need to get
I
this
do too.
right.
Yep.
Okay. Brennan says, "Okay, I guess my action." Oh, let me get my card.
Oh, wait, get your card. Get
Let
your
me get
card.
my index card. "I guess my actions weren't showing my intimate affection for you. I guess you were not understanding that I was your friend." Emily says, "Why can't you just be direct like with me? Like," and he says, "Are all of my efforts continuing to be not acknowledged? Most girls would not have stayed here. Like, was it you staying?" He doesn't even read off a card here. He
No.
gets all smug and he leans in and he's like, "Was it you staying? Or did you try to convince me to stay?" And I
Whoa.
wanted to lunge over the fucking table at this
I
guy.
know. I know. I know. Oh
Oof.
my God. He turned into like a first class fucking asshole right here.
Ugh. She says, "Yes, I did try, but I didn't think it was fair, like, for you to, like, take away from, like, my experience."
Mm.
And he says, "Which is why you stayed." Then he says,
Uh, uh,
I'm telling you, I
I
told
know.
Amanda, I need a sound effect that is a primal scream. I
All
need to
right.
find it
We need to
because,
find one.
whew, he
We need to
says,
find one.
"If we had ended this, you wouldn't have almost died, and it was not worth it for me to almost lose you.
What?
I almost lost you, so I should have broke up with you months ago." What?
Amy,
What?
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 What? I can't make heads or tails of what the hell he meant by that. All he's wanted to do was lose her like a fucking hemorrhoid. Like, come on.
She goes, "What?"
Yeah.
And then they eat in silence.
I just want to enjoy this meal for 5 minutes.
Then she said, well, when she gets the steak, he's like, "Is that rare enough for you?"
Uh, fuck off, sir.
So then she says, "I don't like think that you like gave this your all. Like, do you want to elaborate or like address this?" And he says, "In the real world, you would go on a date or two a week, and if you didn't like the person, you would eventually break up with them.
Mm-hmm.
But with you and I, it was 24/7, and I felt like I saw every side of you and I saw some red flags."
Oh my God, honey, you are a walking red flag.
She says, "What flags? Like, what? What?" And he goes, "The negativity from you is huge. I asked for a positive person." She's dumbfounded at this point.
Uh-huh, and I am too. No, I
He
really am
says,
too.
"You say you hate everything." And then he goes, "Even shitting on Michael and Chloe's vows." Now, you remember I called that out when she
I
did
know,
that.
same. Same, same.
Let me
That
get the
was
shame
not
bell.
cool.
Let me get the shame bell. Hold on.
Uh-oh. What's happening?
Okay. Oh, did it ring?
I heard the ding, but I didn't
Yeah,
hear the
me too.
shame.
There we go.
Shame.
Okay.
Shame.
I think what he
Shame.
is referring to, I think she is, how do I say this nicely? I think she's kind of a mean girl a little bit. She has that little bit of a side to her
Yes.
where
Yes.
she kind of is like, "Oh, I hate it in here. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate this. Oh, I hate that outfit she's wearing." Like, I think she's one of those people.
Yeah, and
And that could be super fucking annoying. And I
annoying. I
I
know.
personally don't react well to people like that in the world.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
But I think that's different than not being
Then
a positive person, if that
agreed.
makes sense.
Totally does.
Like,
Totally
I
does.
think he's not articulating what, like, he needs to say something like, I don't know what he needs to say.
I don't either, it just
Maybe
wasn't
like,
that.
"I don't like the way you look at things." I don't know, but it's a turn off to
Yeah.
him,
Yeah. Is it
and
though? Is that what it is?
I
Could he
just think
be I don't
he
know.
just hates her. He
I
hates her.
know,
He
he
hated
hates
her
her.
from day one,
I know. Yeah. I
and
actually don't think he hated her at the wedding. I think it started on the honeymoon.
we have said,
Yeah.
even though, do not get us wrong, it is the position of Little Miss Recap that Emily is in the right here and Brennan is a trash person.
Yes. Of
But Emily
course.
could be really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she would annoy the shit out of me.
Oh,
But
yeah.
she's a nice person. She
Yes,
just has
and
she has a little bit of that mean girl tendency where
yes,
she shits on things.
but I can also say that I don't think she's a negative person.
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
like, I don't
And
see
even the
that.
producers are like, "We don't see
Yeah.
that in you."
Yeah. Oh, I know,
Yeah.
she's crying in the
She
bathroom.
go she runs to the bathroom, she's sobbing, and she says, the producer says, "I would not describe you that way. Like, I don't understand what's going on here." She's like, "He doesn't know who I am." And it breaks my heart for her because I think that there's nothing worse in the world than to feel like your partner doesn't see you for who you really want to be seen as.
Mhm.
That is, and I lived that in my first marriage. It
I
is,
know. It's tough. That's
ugh,
hard. That's hard.
it's like heartbreaking. It really
Yeah.
is.
No, it is, for
And
sure.
if you're in a situation like that, like, you need to find someone who sees you for who you are.
Mhm.
Period.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
she comes back and she's like, "That was like really hurtful." And Brennan says, "It's very hard for me to say those things to you because I don't want to hurt you." And she says, "People would say I'm positive. It's one of my key qualities." And he says, "I'm just telling you how it makes you feel when you're shitting all over everything. Can we just talk about some positives now?"
I know, like, "Sir,
What
what does
does
he
this guy want?
mean?" I don't know.
Like, do you want to just, like, okay, let's only talk about how beautiful rainbows are. Like, what do
Right.
you want?
And how soft kittens are, and,
Have you seen
like,
the fucking
truly,
world around us? It's a shit show. Everything's going to shit. What are we going to
literally.
talk about that's good news? Do
I
you want to
know.
talk about the weather? That's a shit show. Do you want to talk about our future? That's a shit show.
I
Do you
know.
want to talk about the election? That's a shit show. Do you want to talk about, I don't know, anything? It's
So,
all a shit show.
I think he just wants to hear from her how thankful she is that he saved her life.
This saving your life bullshit.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm,
I'm gonna
mm-mm,
rage.
mm-mm.
I'm going to rage.
The next
Literally
day,
going to rage.
the next day we get a diary cam from Emily, and she says
Oh,
that Brennan went home. Of course he did. Was
of
he even staying in the apartment
course.
at all?
No, no.
And she says, "It's really sad the way things ended here." And now Claire pops over to drop a bomb.
Claire,
Yeah.
Claire.
She starts to cry. Now, this conversation was clearly reenacted because they had had this conversation already, because Emily's face is red from crying when she
Yeah,
sits down. And Claire says, "I've been protecting you, but I need to tell you something. Cam told me." Now, I threw Cam under the bus last week, and I
I
apologize,
know.
Cam. You were not going on a double date. Cam
That's
told
right.
me that
That's right.
Brennan
My guy
wants to
Cam
go,
isn't really all that
but
bad,
he's still
everybody.
blaming her for his hot flatter.
His broken ticker.
So Cam told me that Brennan wants to go on double dates with Cam and has been out and dating, and he is not a good guy, Emily. And Emily starts to sob.
And
And Emily says, the way that he talks to me, he just doesn't respect me.
he doesn't. We can all see it.
Now she's all fired up.
I know.
She's like,
I know. Well, I feel like we needed her to get angry.
she's angry.
But she needed to get angry
I
because
agree.
he's been shitting all over her all
I agree.
75 weeks of this
I agree.
experiment.
She calls him and they pretty much declare war on one another over the phone, and it's wild.
It's
He's like, he's
crazy.
in his bed, like, I'm here for this.
I know.
This is what we needed, MAFS.
I know. Ooh, and he gets salty.
Oh, she says to him, you're so stupid. You've cared so much about your image and then you go and do this. Like, are you an idiot? She's like, 8 weeks, you couldn't keep it together. And she's and basically what she's saying is like, you spent so much time curating your image and then you threw it all out the window by looking like the world's biggest douchebag.
He did it all to himself.
And he's like, it's not true. I was making a joke. She's like, it was not a joke, you motherfucker. And then he says, oh, Kara, you're going to roast me on TV anyway, you know. Blah, blah. And he says, you're so negative, and yeah, that's what caused things to break down between us. He's like, you're the most negative person I've ever met. And then he goes, I saved your life.
I know. I'm going to rage against everything.
She says, you did not. She says what I have been saying for weeks. You didn't save my life. You did what anyone would have done in that situation. And he's like, no one else did, though.
I know.
She's like, they weren't there, you fucking idiot. Oh, so Brennan's logic is Claire didn't save your life. I did.
I know. Amy, he's terrible.
He's a gaslighter. He's a manipulator.
Yes.
He's
I'm just gonna say it, and I don't care who comes for me. He's a terrible human.
He's terrible.
There's nothing redeeming about him at this point. No. There's not.
Nope. So she hangs up. They hang up. They pretty much have declared war at this point. Then he comes over to get his stuff, and he's like, do you want to talk? She's like, no. And then he gives her a hug.
I know.
And says, I wish you the best.
Yeah.
Fuck. I need to calm down because I'm like getting lightheaded because I can't breathe. Okay.
I know.
Now we have a scene unlike anything we've ever seen in Married at First Sight. The girls all get together. And they're like, we're going in. We're all in on war now on these dick bags that they gave us. Except Chloe, who's there and is like, I got the greatest prize of all.
Yep, she sure did.
Emily tells the girls what she found out. They all pretend they didn't know. She tells them about the negativity. Becca says, I would never say that about you. You're too positive, if anything. And then she says to Chloe, who doesn't really know like a lot of the situation, she's like, Brennan is a monster off camera. He makes Emily delete diary cams if they don't show him in the proper light. And Emily says, yeah, he'll tell me like that's not part of our story, but she's like, it's part of my story.
My story, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Emily says he was great when I had the accident, and Chloe says, well, we can say that that's who he was in that moment, but that's not who he is.
It's not. And I think she's 100% correct.
Now this girl squad, they're like the Avengers.
I love it.
Becca's like, these men have been so concerned about the optics of everything rather than our feelings and our marriages. And look, we need to protect ourselves on decision day. Like they are all going to war, and I love it. Except for Becca.
Yeah.
Who's then kind of like, I really think Austin is a good human being. And this is what I'm saying. Like,
I know.
I trust her and I trust her judgment.
And I do too. I just wish she got a better shake than that.
Me too. We end with diary cam. And it's Brennan. And he's in bed with the sheet up over his gross nipples. And he's like, I can't believe I'm getting divorced. I didn't see this coming. but I wouldn't have done it with anyone else. And then he goes, never mind. That's not true anymore.
Oh my
I wish she didn't
god.
have to make this so hard. I wish we could have walked forward from our reset and parted as friends. Fuck you and
Fuck.
your fucking reset. Shove it up your ass.
Seriously. Oh my god. Someone punch him for me.
What
Punch
if
him in the
we're
spleen.
how much would you pay to see a producer just punch him right in the face?
Amy, I would give like a year's salary for that.
We need to interview the producer that is assigned to him.
I know. We need to get that fucker on this show.
Emily tells us in her diary cam, I'm a nervous wreck, but I want to make sure that I get to say what I need to say. I kind of have a bad feeling about this.
I do
Dun,
too.
dun,
I do
dun.
too.
Next time on, it's decision day. Now, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Well, I don't know. So what I think they're going to do is we're going to see decision day. And then I think they're just going to keep showing us the broken hot people, all the broken tickers in the apartment still, while Chloe and Michael are riding out their next 3 days. And that's going to be it. Like, I just feel like this whole season has been a fucking disaster.
I don't know. Like, I'm not here to just watch episodes of Chloe and Michael. I don't really want to watch that.
No, I don't either.
It's
And
kind of boring.
I don't really want to keep watching Claire hanging out in the apartment that
With
why
their
is she
mom.
in?
With their mom.
I mean, her mom is lovely. I have nothing against her
Sure,
mom.
but
But it's not, I don't understand.
if I wanted to watch mundane conversations with a mother, I'd just set up a camera in my house and film myself talking to my mom.
Right. So here's the thing. Orion and Lauren
Mm.
split skis.
Mm.
Why aren't they in the apartments? Why isn't
I don't know.
Lauren or Orion in that apartment? Why? I need to know. Why am I stuck on this? Why is Claire still living in this apartment?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
So on decision day, it's guns blazing.
Oh, it's bad.
Emily is like, Brennan threatened me and says he has enough to ruin my life forever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I believe that he did.
I do too. He says, you declared war on me. And you can see Castor Pal and Doc Pep are like, what?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? You two have wrought. This is a mess you have wrought.
It is.
That's what I want to say to Castor Pal and Dr. Pep.
It sure is.
Cam cries and says, well, you do it. He fucked up the process. You do it.
I really fucked up the process with my broken ticker. And I didn't give Claire the opportunity to really fall in love with my hot ass. Oh, I know, Aim. I do love him still, though.
No, I don't. And
really?
then, nope.
Why?
Austin says, I do care about her. Because I just think he's manipulative. I think he is 100% telegraphing to us that Claire broke his heart. Literally.
I know. I think you're really running with that, though.
I am running with it.
You're way fun with it. Running with that. Because I don't really see him doing anything horrible to her. He's not.
He's on camera going, no, I have a broken ticker. Did Claire cause that? I don't know. Some might say yes. Some might say no. Come on.
But Amy, he's not shit talking her at all anywhere.
That's like me. That would be like me going, has Brennan shot up steroids in front of me off camera? I don't know. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. I'm not going to talk about it. Like, now you're putting it out there. So you're saying it.
Oh, I disagree with you. I think he was just being silly and stupid. And I think he knew that. And I don't think he really believes that.
We'll see.
I just think you want to hate him.
I do. Austin says, I do kind of care about her. And Becca cries. That's it.
I can't.
Where are we going with these lovely couples?
I don't know. Nowhere good, that's for certain. Nowhere good. So listen up, MAFS peoples. If you're out there listening, do better next time. You owe us better. You owe us better than this.
But you know what? I thought for sure that after this season, what a disaster, that they were going to take a beat and kind of redo things, especially with what's coming out about Love is Blind. Nope, they're already casting for Chicago. So they're doing this, they're doing Austin, they're doing Chicago. Like, they're just going full steam, and I assure you they're not changing a thing.
I hope you're wrong.
I'm
because
not.
I hope that they are. Because
They're
this
not
is
changing a
still
thing.
it's one of my favorite shows, and I want to still love it. I'm very
Mm.
whiny. I want to love it.
We probably have 17 more episodes, so stay tuned.
Well, we're only 75 in, so
19 in.
is it
19.
19 now?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So we'll see.
Well,
At least
they're
it's getting
gonna.
good now.
I think they're probably gonna break up Decision Day into 2 episodes. Don't
Oh,
you
yeah.
think? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. At least it's getting good now. And I'm here to see Emily take down Brennan.
Me too. I am
Mm-hmm.
in her cheering section.
I'm
I
here for the
am.
girls Avenger Squad.
Yeah, yeah,
Here for that.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good
You
time.
know what it is? It's like they're the Powerpuff Girls.
The Powerpuff Girls.
The 3 of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
All
funny.
right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Like I said, stay tuned for our crossover next week. We'll also be here coming right up with Prison Brides.
Prison Brides.
Prison Brides. If you haven't already, jump in Backdoor Friends. It's our Facebook group. It's a lot of fun. And leave us a review.
5 stars.
All right. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Love your moms.